Hello everyone. Today we will solve one more problem on the frame with some different approach. Okay. So what I will do, I will take the same example what we have discussed in the last session. I will take the same frame problem. We will analyze this and we will try to draw the shear force and bending moment diagrams for this frame for the given loading conditions. But only thing is I will go with a different approach. I will use the same Carney's method for the analysis, but approach will be different. Why the different approach I am trying to use here is, if you see the frame very carefully, it is a symmetric frame. So symmetric means, in what sense it is a symmetric frame? Okay, you see, if I divide the entire frame exactly at the center, something like this. Now you can see there are two parts, left part and the right part. So both the parts, they are exactly mirror image to each other. If you see the left part, it is exactly mirror image of the right part. So whenever you are dealing with such kind of structures, so which are symmetric in the nature. Symmetric means if you cut the entire frame exactly at the center, they should be like a mirror image to each other. So if you are dealing with such kind of structures, then we can go for a different approach. The different approach called as axis of symmetry. So we can use the symmetric approach in analyzing the particular structure using Carney's method. Why we can use, or why we should use this symmetric approach or the symmetric concept? If we use the symmetric approach or the symmetric concept, then we can reduce the calculations, or we can analyze the entire frame within a short of time. Means we can use a very less time for the analysis of the frames. Okay. So today what we will do, we will analyze this frame using Carney's method and we will try to use the symmetric approach. Okay. Now as usual what I will do, I will determine the fixed end moments first. They will be remain same as we have done it for the previous problem. Only changes starts from the step number 2, that is, while we are calculating the relative stiffness, from that particular point the approach will be something different, or else the first step, that is step number 1, calculation of the fixed end moments, the first step will remains same, there is no change at all. Okay. See here, solution. Step number 1, that is fixed end moments, also known as FEMs. So we have to work out the fixed end moments. So whenever we are using the symmetric approach also, there is no change in the formulas and there is no change in the calculation part. The fixed end moments calculation will remains same as it is. Now you can see here on member AB and on member CD there are no loads. So you can straight away write MF AB equals to MF BA equals to MF CD equals to MF DC. All these fixed moments are 0 as no loads acting on the member AB and on member CD. The only member on which the load is acting is member BC, for which we need to determine the fixed end moment. So MF BC is equals to minus WL square by 12. So here W is 40 kilonewton. So it is minus 40 into span is 6 meters. So I will consider 6. So it is 6 square divided by 12, which gives you a value of minus 120 kilonewton meter. So there is no change in the fixed end moment value. Similarly, the MFCB, it is also remains same, that is it is plus 120 kilonewton meter. So as we have solved many problems, I hope you know how I got this as 120 kilonewton, right? So till the first step, there is no change in the calculation. It is same as usual. The only change starts from the step number 2. So here step number 2, it is a relative stiffness, that is the value of K, and we need to calculate the rotation factors, that is the value of U, right. So here for the calculation of the relative stiffness and for the further analysis purpose, I need to use any one part. Either you can use the left part or you can use the right part. It is up to your choice. So here what I will do, I will use the left part. So I will use AB and the half of this BC member. Okay. So here what I am going to do, I am going to use this part. Let us say this is point A, this is point B, and this is a point C dash. Okay, I am using only half part. So let us say this is a UDL which is acting on that, and its magnitude is 40 kilonewtons per meter. So this distance, it is 3 meter. As the total distance is 6 meter, I am using only half part. 3 meter I value. So here I value is 3I. Okay. So now I am using only this part for the analysis. Okay. So now if I see the left part carefully, here I can say we have only one joint B. So this is an end A, this is an end C dash. Now we have only one joint B joint. So that I need to use for the further calculations. So here what I will do, I will calculate the rotation factors for this joint. So let me note down the joints, then members, okay, then the relative stiffness, that is the value of K, I need to note down, then the total stiffness, that is a summation of K, then I have to note down the distribution factors, then I have to note down the rotation factors, that is U. These are the things we need to calculate. Okay. So from this diagram, so what I can see, we have only one joint, okay, B joint, and for this we have two members, one is BA, another one is BC dash. So here BA, BC dash, okay. So we have to be very careful for considering this BC dash, because I will tell you what's happening, what will happen in the future. Now the relative stiffness, okay. The relative stiffness for BA member. So whenever we are calculating the relative stiffness for any member, what we do, we look for how is the far end condition. Okay. So for BA member, A is a far end and it is fixed in the nature, right. So for this, the relative stiffness is, it is I by L. Okay. So I value is I, L is 3. So it is I by 3, which is equals to 0.33 I. 0.33 I. The relative stiffness for the member BA, it is 0.33 I. Okay. Even up to this calculations, no change, as usual we have done. Now the changes comes into the picture from this point, that is the original member was BC. What we have taken? We have taken only BC dash for the calculation, means we have taken the half of the original member for the calculation. It means whatever the relative stiffness which supposed to be there for original member, the half of that we need to consider here. It means here, see, for BC dash I need to look for the C dash condition. C dash is fixed in the nature. So for this also it is I by L. But I by L is for when the member is full, means when we are considering the complete member. But here we are not considering the complete member, we are considering only half member. So it means this has to be 50%. That we have to consider half of I by L. It is half of I by. Why I am taking half? Why I am taking half? Because for the calculation purpose we are considering only the half member. Okay, right. So here half, okay, I value is 3I, I value is 3I. How much is length? Should I consider this length or should I consider this length? That is the complete length. Should I consider it as 6 meter or it should be 3 meter? This is the point where majority of the people do the mistake. As I said, I am considering only half part for the calculation, then they will take this as the length. No, that's wrong. I have to take the original length of the member. Why? Because I am taking half of the relative stiffness. As I am considering only half frame, so I have to consider 50% of the relative stiffness. But what is relative stiffness? Relative stiffness depends on the far end condition and its complete length. So don't take 50% of the length. Take 50% of the relative stiffness for the calculation. Don't consider 50% of the length for the calculation purpose. So here length should be complete length, that is the length should be 6 meter. So here it is 6. So this gives me a value of 0.252, sorry, 0.25 I. So the total it will be, it is 0.58 I is the relative stiffness at the joint B. So now we have the relative stiffness and the total stiffness both. Using this we can easily calculate the distribution factors, that is distribution factor is equals to relative stiffness divided by total stiffness. So if I divide 0.33 I by 0.58 I, then I will be having the distribution factor as 0.568 as the distribution factor for the BA member and 0.431 for the BC member. Okay. So once we have the distribution factor values, then we can calculate the rotation factors. So rotation factors is equals to, we all know it is half of a distribution factor. So minus half of distribution factor. So this will be minus 0.24, so minus 0.284 and minus 0.215, minus 0.215. So these are the rotation factors which we are going to use for the further calculations. So this is the changes what we need to adopt whenever we are going for the symmetric concept. If you are not referring the symmetric concept, then these changes is not required, right? Okay. So after this we have to move on to the next step, that is the Carney's table. For the calculation of the Carney's table also we have to use only 50% of the frame. That is, either you need to use the left part or you need to use the right part of the frame. See here. So what I am going to do here is, I use only the left part for the calculation purpose. So this is B joint, this is A. So here I have to draw one more box where we are going to write the algebraic sum of fixed end moments. Okay. So first of all, let me represent the fixed end moments. So fixed end moment MFAB is 0. Similarly, MFBA is also 0. MFBC is minus 120. So here we are not considering the C end. So we are considering the C dash, that is in the mid of the member BC. So we don't have any fixed end moment at this point. So don't write anything here. Okay. So how much is the algebraic sum of fixed end moments? So here the algebraic sum of fixed end moments at B joint is 0 minus 120. So it will be minus 120 kilonewton meter, right? So what we need is, we need M dash AB, M dash BA, M dash BC and M dash C dash B. Okay. So these are the rotation contributions we need to calculate for the further evaluation. So as we know, we don't calculate the rotation contributions for the ends, that is M dash AB as well as M dash C dash B, it will be 0. So what we need to do, we need to calculate the rotation contributions only for these two members, that is for M dash BA and M dash BC. We need only these two rotation contributions. So as we already know, the rotation contribution U is equals to, M dash is equals to, it is U rotation factor into the algebraic sum of fixed end moments at any joint plus the algebraic sum of far end rotation contributions. So this is the formula to calculate the rotation contributions. Okay. So now let us work out the rotation contributions M dash AB and M dash BA. So M dash AB, M dash BA is equals to rotation contributions. Here I have forgot to write the rotation factors. Rotation factors for BA member, it is minus 0.284 and here it is minus 0.215. Okay. So the rotation factor U for BA member, it is minus 0.284 into the algebraic sum of fixed end moments. Algebraic sum of fixed end moment is minus 120 plus the far end rotation contributions. For B joints, which are the far end rotation contributions? For B joint, we can see we have two members, BA and BC. For BA member, A is far end. For BC member, C dash is the far end. So we need to see what are the rotation contributions for these two joints. You can see this is 0 and this is also 0. So here both will be, it is 0 plus 0. This gives us a value of minus 34.08. Sorry, plus 34.08. 34.08 kilonewton meter, which I need to represent here. 34.08 kilonewton meter. Similarly, m dash BC is equals to rotation contribution, that is minus 0.215 into minus 120 plus 0 plus 0, because the far end rotation contributions here they are 0. So this gives me a value of plus 25.8 plus 25.8 kilonewton meter, which I am going to write here. It is 25.8 kilonewton meter. Okay. Right. Now, what is the next step? Should I go for one more cycle? No. Why? Even if I go for one more cycles, there is no change in the far end rotation contributions. So, there is no change in the rotation contribution values. Even if you do 100 cycles, in the 100 cycles you will get the same values. So, these are the final rotation contributions which we need to use for the further calculation. So, what I will do? I will finalize the rotation contributions. So, these are the final rotation contributions which I need to use for the further calculation, that is to calculate the final end moments we need to use these rotation contribution values. Let us see. Step number 4. Step 4, final end moments. Okay. So, here let me start with MAB. MAB is equals to MFAB plus 2 M dash AB plus M dash B. This is the formula to calculate the final end moment. Okay. So, here how much is MFAB? MFAB is 0 plus how much is M dash AB? M dash AB is also 0 plus how much is M dash BA? M dash BA is 34.08. That is 34.08. So, MAB it is equals to, it is 34.08 kilonewton meters. So, this is a final end moment at A, right. Similarly, the next moment, that is MBA. MBA is equals to MFBA plus 2 times of M dash BA plus 1 times of M dash AB. So, it is 0 plus 2 times of 34.08 plus 0. So, we will get MBA as 68.16 kilonewton meter. So, these are the end moment at B. Now, the next one, that is MBC, we need to work out. MBC is equals to MFBC plus 2 times of M dash BC dash. So, M dash BC dash plus M dash C dash B. So, here MFBC is minus 120 plus 2 into M dash BC dash, that is this value is, it is 25.80, it is 25.80 plus M dash C, this value is 0. So, this gives us MBC is equals to minus 68.16 kilonewton meter. That is all. Do not calculate the M dash, CV dash, all those things. Okay. So, using only these 3 values, we can fix or we can have the end moments for the entire frame. See here. Now, what is the value of MAB? MAB, it is 34.08. It is a positive value, it means the bending moment is clockwise. So, here I will represent a clockwise bending moment. So, this is 34.08 kilonewton meter. MBA, it is 68.16 kilonewton, that is also positive value. It means here also bending moment is clockwise. This is 68.16 kilonewton meter, right? Now MBC, it is minus 68.16, minus means anti-clockwise in the direction. So this is minus 68.16 kilonewton meter. I have got the final end moments only for the half frame. Now what about the remaining half? So for the remaining half, what we need to do here is we need to represent the same bending moments, but the direction is exactly opposite. See here. Now for BC member we got anti-clockwise, that is minus 68.16. It means the mirror of this, mirror will be, as it is anti-clockwise, mirror will be clockwise. So this is clockwise. Magnitude will remain same, 68.16 kilonewton meter. Now for BA member, it is clockwise 68.16, mirror of this, it will be anti-clockwise. So this will be anti-clockwise 68.16 kilonewton meter. Now for AB member, we have clockwise 34.08. So mirror of this will be anti-clockwise. So this will be anti-clockwise. It is 34.08 kilonewton. So this is how we need to mirror the final end moments for the other half of the frame. Calculate for one half of the frame, either it may be left half or the right half. For the next part, next half, you need to just mirror them. That is, we need to represent the same magnitude but opposite directions. So using this concept, we can analyze the frame very easily. We are considering only the half part, means most of the calculation has been reduced. Even you can see, we can wind up with only one cycle. We will get the answers only for a single calculation or single cycle, right? So this, once we know the final end moments, that is the next part is the estimation of the support reactions and the maximum bending moments, that we can do very easily. So I suggest you can continue with that part, right?